All right, here we go. Here we go, folks. All right. Let's see what's going on here. We're going to pop out the chat. Pop out the chat. Pop out the chat. Doom, 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 doom. Pop out the chat. Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, pop out the chat. Pop out the chat. Okay. Well, it has been another start to another week, folks. So, well, come on now. Here we are. Another start to another week. So, I started a little late tonight because I was watching Build Paint Play, and Dave Taylor just got back from England, where he had a nice little adventure. And if you want to see that, if you want to see that video of Dave Taylor's slideshow from his trip to England, go over and check it out at Build Paint Play. It's pretty interesting. Kind of some highlights. He kind of goes around to some of his old stomping grounds and sort of virtually introduces you to some of his acquaintances over there. Talks about the people he saw, got to reconnect with, and some of the things he was doing there with some of the conventions that are happening over there. I think UK Games Expo, UKGE. I think they're sort of like a Gen Con Origins type of a thing. Multi-day, which is kind of a big thing for Britain. They've really not had much in the way of multi-day conventions over there. And I don't remember when they started. I want to say they started around 10 years ago, maybe? UK Games Expo 8 years ago? 8 or 10 years ago? They haven't been doing it for very long, I think. Of course, Games Workshop always had their Games Day, but that's just one day. And then their other big conventions, Salute and Partisan, I believe. Those are just single day conventions. So, and then of course you've got Essen in Germany, but oh yeah, hey Itzy, aka Miar, how you doing? Good to see you tonight. Just saw you pop up there. I was looking for you I was looking over here on the Twitch side, but thanks for watching on YouTube. I appreciate that. So anyhow, Dave was let's see, woodworking project, triangular wood shelf for wood. It will help clean up my garage. Well, that's important. Well, you want to have a wood shelf for your wood. So this is the old effigy, Goblin Effigy there from the Skull Pass Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I think it was 7th edition. So I've been poking away at this for a little while. So tonight I think I'm going to finish it. maybe get some basing done on it. So that's what I'm working on tonight. But I was a little bit late because I did stay until the end of the show. So I just kind of wanted to see the. So the for me the attraction at Build Paint Play. First of all, we get to listen to Dave and Jake and all their wonderful guests talk about the industry and what they're doing and upcoming projects and different things. Really, really neat stuff. And then, but at the end of the show, there's a showcase of people that have turned in pictures of what they've been working on. So I always like to see that. And there's one painter in particular that I'm a big fan of. His work is just immaculate, for lack of a better word. His name is Chris Gorka. If you look up on, you can look him up on Instagram. I think it's chris.gorka on Instagram. Or you could join the Build Paint Play Facebook group and check that out. So, let's see. Check out his work there. Fascinating stuff. It's just, what's funny is if you look at it, at first you don't think he's really done a lot of highlighting, but then you look closer and the highlights are so subtle and so clean that they just work. They just really work really well. Just amazing craftsmanship Chris Gorka has. So definitely give him a look. But anyhow, that's Build Paint Play tonight. I was watching that a little bit longer. It ran a little later than usual, which is fine. So, and I'm working on little pieces here and there on this project, and then I was dry brushing something, and I got all sorts of horrible little flecks of black all over this that I'm trying to remedy. So, see if we can do something about that tonight. So I'm just doing a little rust right here on this helmet on this dwarf skull. We assume it's a dwarf skull anyway. It's this helmet right here. Split down, as you can see. Now I had it chainmail and silver and the like, but it just looked a little too bright for having on top of a skull, right? So I would figure that they would probably if it was long enough for the skin to rot off the skull, it's probably long enough for the metal to start rusting. So a little orange, a little mahogany. Even let them mix a little bit. Because new rust is brighter, older rust is darker. So, and then of course you can get a brighter edge off of the rusted bits as well. So that's all right if you ever want to go back over, like I'm going to do that. I'm going to go over this edge just to give it a little bit of definition so it doesn't get lost. Don't want it to get lost in that pile. So we get a little orange out here on the palette. We got the Nova orange. We got the Raglar orange. We'll use some Raglar orange as well. Some bright yellow and some bismuth yellow. And we got Myar over here on YouTube side of things, masquerading as Itsy O. So that's pretty cool. Keeps us guessing. Bismuth yellow. Squeeze that out. And here's some regular yellow. Raglar yeller. He's sneaky like that, yeah. Well, you know, variety is a spice of life, right? Gotta keep things interesting, right? And we'll get some orange red. Orange red from Pro Krill from the Rogue Hobbies set. So the bismuth yellow and the orange red are both from the yeah, I've not done anything when it comes as far as minis. Right. I've seen your work. I've seen your work. I bought some flesh eaters. That's about it. Okay, very cool. That was the flesh eaters court. Is that the from the Games Workshop? I'm gonna take a little mahogany and a little bit of this red. I'm gonna mix that together to get a little darker red tone there. And we're just gonna clean up, really judiciously clean up some of these weird little black spots that were left behind by some Age of Sigmar fantasy. Okay, very cool. It's not a great match, but it's close enough. They're goblins, right? Now this is a little bit disappointing. There's a brush hair that got in there and it just stayed in there. Could have been a cat hair too, I don't know. Anything's possible. It's funny, when I was looking at this earlier, I could see all the I could see all the little black dots, all the spots that had gotten dry brushed on here inadvertently. But now, under my microscope, under my visor, I don't see them anymore. Of all things. Very strange. Well, there's some There's something weird right there. Pick up a little orange, maybe. Pick up a little orange, mix that in there. Pick up a little bit of the Nova orange, maybe. We'll just do a little wet blending right here. Just fix any mistakes. It's just paint, folks. Remember, if you're getting down about your work, remember, it's just paint. You can always fix it on the next go around. It's just paint. Fix it on the next go around. Get another chance. Today's not over yet, right? And there's always tomorrow. Give yourself a chance. So this happens to be Men's Mental Health Month. I know a lot of people are flying rainbow flags for this month, but that doesn't particularly apply to me. But Men's Mental Health Month, I think that applies to at least 50% of the population. So, fellas, take care of yourselves. If you're feeling blue, talk to somebody. And if you know somebody that's feeling blue, maybe you can be the person to make them feel better, help them feel better. Sometimes it doesn't take a word. Be aware if you know somebody and they start acting maybe a little bit happier than they usually have been before, and if they start giving away their stuff, that's a huge tell right there. If they just start giving away stuff for no good reason, you might want to. You don't have to talk to them necessarily. You don't have to call them out or anything, but definitely take an interest in them. I was listening to an interesting podcast today called I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, what it is this guy that used to work at Workshop, and he kind of gets these like hobby shop nightmare stories, right, where things have kind of gone wrong, a whole lot of wrong, and he's talked about watching out for people like that. So, what does it really mean to a person, you know? I mean, how does this month help a person like, say, me or you? Well, it's mostly just to help build awareness, you know, Miar, as far as men's mental health, because that's something else that is a focus for this month. Or you mean the other thing? You know, the other thing, I think it's important to be a good neighbor. You know, A lot of people get worked up about being allies, but allies are situational. It's better to be a good neighbor to somebody than necessarily be an ally. Allies always are into something for themselves. They have an agenda too. But a neighbor doesn't have an agenda. So it's better to be a neighbor to people than get all bent out of your shape and show you and you know tell everybody how much of an ally you are. That's my thoughts. I think it's better to be a neighbor than an ally. Because allies have an agenda. They want something too. But I digress. Men's Mental Health Month. That's the other big focus here. And since I'm a man, it's a concern. Since I have friends that have had mental health issues, that's also something that I try to be cognizant of. You know, I've been depressed and not too happy of late. Unfortunately, people around me not even know about this month because it's shrouded by a different subject. Yeah, it is. Well, Miar, if you wanna, you can always DM me if you want. But I hope you got a good friend nearby or a buddy that you can chat with. You know, uh, my uncle always used to say, "We're all in this together." you know, so while we may not necessarily be, yeah, get out there and be Mr. Rogers. Hey, Quantum. Hey, Heretic Scott. Good to see you. Hey, how's everybody doing? Get out there and be Mr. Rogers to someone. Quantum says, "What's this? A dude on the internet talking rationally about something? Not possible." Yeah, right? Right? Rational thought and measured response. I mean, goodness gracious. That's uh that's just unheard of these days. Everybody's just going crazy. Oh my goodness. Some days I just want to crawl under the couch and turn off the news and crawl under the couch. Oh my goodness. But how's Heretic Scott doing these days? Haven't seen you for a while, and I know you were starting to do some content creation. I think you're over. Are you still over on Patreon? Because unfortunately, I have to say I don't check in on Patreon very often. I've got a Patreon for Tabletop Minions I subscribe to, but that's about it, and that's connected to his Discord. So let's see. Quantum says only half the troubles I've been through lately. I'm fortunate to have a couple of coworkers who act as a support network. That's important. That's important. Having a support network. I mean, I know a little bit about what you and yours have been dealing with lately, Quantum, and um, I can only imagine the stresses that it puts on you. Uh, we lost my grandma to that, and I mean, she was in her 80s, but it's still, I mean, that's not, you still don't want them to go. But people seems like Seems like people are going a little earlier than they ever used to these days. I don't know if it's the food we're eating or what, you know. I think it has a lot to do with it. So much processed junk. I know my mom used to not ever allow us to have a whole lot of sugary candies and drinks and everything. She was kind of a health food nut and got, you know, when you're a kid you don't really understand it, but she really did try to take best care of us as she could with that. So, but yeah, Quantum, I can only imagine what you've been going through, and I'm glad you've got a support network with some coworkers, people that are close to you that you can call on for help. That's important. Itzio says, don't know. Yeah, right. People around me not even. Yeah. So, but sometimes it's a matter of just being overwhelmed with everything too. You know, I know if I work too much, if I get I get frustrated because you know it wears me down physically, and then that wears on me mentally, and trying to catch up and keep up with all the things I'm supposed to be doing at work. I got dinged a little bit this week for something that, I mean, it was something I had to do to be able to function, but it was the big boss didn't like that I took time to clean off my truck. But when you get in from service work late in the evening, sometimes things pile up. And I had a slow day on I had a slow day. This was last week. I had a slow day, so I took some time and I cleaned it off. And I turned it in on my time clock, on my time card, because I mean, what else was I going to do? I had to count my time for something. So, but he didn't like paying that much money for me cleaning off my truck. Well, if I don't do that, then it affects my productivity and it affects my ability to do my work and find tools and service customers in a timely manner. So, kind of wish I could paint full time or be a content creator full time, but I don't know. Let's see. Real busy man, real busy. Heretic Scott. Patreon hasn't launched yet. Just doing the YouTube for now. But bigger news is I changed jobs and left the UK. Oh wow! Of course, moved to a new house. I'm in the process of building a new studio, which I'm hoping to get completed for August time. Excellent. Well, that's something to look forward to. Once that's done, I can return to making videos. It'll be a while before I get the momentum. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, don't put undue pressure on yourself, there, Heretic Scott. But that's exciting. You know, they say though that like moving house and especially moving countries, that's pretty wild. Um, Moving house is one of the larger stresses in life that we can put upon ourselves that we wind up with. So it's kind of a good stress, though. I mean, you know, I don't think anybody's ever melted down over moving house. I could be wrong. I'm sure some people have, but I know every time I've moved, it's just kind of a hassle. I moved into this place going on 4 years now, and I still don't have everything in where it needs to be. But I got the go ahead to be able to start working 410s though, so hopefully that will help my creative output. But again, you know, that's one of those things. I'm glad you're able to get a place and get a studio started up, and you got kind of an end goal and a picture of where you want to be. That's really important. Having a picture of where you want to be. Setting goals is important for us, especially as men. This sounds very manosphere, but no toxicity here. Um, as men, it's important for us to set goals. That's our masculine nature. That's just how our brains are wired. Now, a lot of women are goal oriented too. I'm not saying they're not, but I'm saying that men tend to thrive on goals, having something to do, having something to work towards. Some of that is nature and some of that is nurture. But it sounds like things are looking up for you as regards that there, heretic Scott. I appreciate sharing that with me. That's pretty cool. Moved out of the UK. Hopefully it's someplace awesome. Let's see. Been stressful for me, and I'm one of the most laid-back guys on the planet. Sure. Plenty of colorful language, getting harassed, changing service providers. No doubt. Registering with all the various healthcare insurance doodads, but the dust has settled and we're a bit calmer now. Right. Yeah, that is definitely stressful. No doubt. That's all part of the process. But the nice thing is that that there's an end to the tunnel. Hopefully. It gets all squared away. But I'm glad that got resolved so you can move on with moving on, right? Quantum says, most bosses, if you're standing around, want you to clean up the kitchen, straighten merchandise, or do some self-study. Better to occupy yourself with waste air. Yeah, and that's the thing. I had a slow day. I had gone out to a job site, but the equipment that I needed to use was being used by another crew, so I couldn't really do anything. So I just came back to the shop and was like, I'm going to use this day as an admin day. Well, he wants me to spend 15 minutes at the end of my job time to clean out my truck and whatever. But, sometimes that's not easy to do when you get back into town. And I've got full access to the shop and the stockyard where I can dump things off, but when the sun's going down and you've been out on it all day long, it's one of those things. It's like, not sure you really want it. You can really go. You can't really go for another 10 or 20 minutes to go back to the shop before you go home. It's just kind of a stressful thing that way. Not stressful in a bad way, but just kind of a hassle. Let's see. What's new? Yeah, this camera has always been at that weird aspect ratio. Eventually, I'm going to change it. I've got a couple of 4K cameras that I want to put on. A switcher, so it'll give the right aspect. Because this is actually a 4K camera, but the aspect ratio is, it's just weird. It's actually a document camera. It's an IPEVO. It's a document camera, so it's meant for close-in work like this. I mean, that's the way it is. But you're right. It is an odd aspect ratio, and it's definitely something I've been considering working on. I've got like I said, I've got some 4K cameras that will do a better job. Um, and I actually got one that's meant for close-in work as well, but it's going to be a much better setup, I think. It's just I just have to get I have to just to get the things to do the thing with, you know. So but yeah, the aspect ratio is weird, but at the same time, you know, it's one of those things that was not too expensive and I thought it was going to be an upgrade. This is part of the journey, right? Making mistakes. So, I was going to say I have a Logitech Brio that I could send you. What do I have here? Um, I've got, what is this? Oh, that's not, well, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I've got other webcams. I've got 1080p I've got a 1080p webcam, but it's kind of all over the place. And this one also wants to focus weird too at times, so I don't know if it's that great. It keeps bouncing in and out from time to time. What I really need to do is I need to get like a Sony or a Canon and get some like a 25 millimeter. But I thanks for the offer. But I think I'm trying to work out some other things. I've got some other solutions there, Heretic. But I definitely appreciate the offer. I hear the Logitech Brios are pretty crisp. That was kind of the going thing for a while, but I've got some ideas that I'm going to try to explore. Well, I think that's pretty good. I think I've got paint on all the surfaces. The only thing I don't like about that is there is a weird hair or blemish here somehow. I don't know if that's in the casting or if it's just a hair that got in there. Beard hair or something. I don't know. I don't know. The offer's there. I'm not bothered about selling it. I have an Elgato Steam cam now, so someone else could use it more than me. Sure. Well, I appreciate it. I may take you up on that. I'll let you know. But for right now, I definitely appreciate the offer, and if it's around if I ever need it, I'll definitely take you up on it if it's around if I ever need it. So it's just part of it is just finding time, as you can imagine. But like I said, I talked to my boss about working 410s instead of 5/8s, and he's pretty cool with that. So I think that's going to allow me a little more time to explore some of my content creation ideas, but I won't be able to do it for another 2 weeks because next week is Origins, and yeah. So next week is Origins. That's a game fair, kind of like Gen Con. Actually, Origins and Gen Con used to run at the same time some years ago at the same place. And in fact, for a little while, for a little while, Origins was focused on computer games for some time. Origins was sort of more the wargamery, board game, hex and chit sort of side of things. I don't know. It always did have miniatures as part of it, supposedly. But over the last few years, miniatures kind of fell to the wayside. So we're trying to work on getting that culture back to that show, and they're interested in doing it. It's just been a bit of a slow road. Oh, Stream King. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Either way, the Elgato is a nice, good product, you know. So yeah, I think you're going to have a good time with that one, from what I understand about that particular product. Now, I have got fine ballast. I'm going to try a fine ballast. This is medium ballast. Medium ballast. So I'm going to try that. This is the first time I'm trying that. Breaking into this. I've got kind of a personal mix that I make out of kitty litter and play sand, but this is a little bit different. A little bit different thing here. So we'll try this. For this, there's a little bit of a walk up right here to this. There's a grate, like a door on this Goblin Effigy. So I think I might take just kind of use a smaller grit sand here. Use a smaller grit. To make it look like it's been worn down into the ground a little bit more. So then we'll get some of the JP's Magic Mix out here. It's got chunks of kitty litter and the like in here. And we're going to have to ban a bot here. Ban it. And block it. And report it. Bot. Timestamp is at 1:15, 1:14. All right. Well, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. spread a little bit out around there. Flatten that out just a little bit more. Pick it up on my fingers. So this is JP's Magic Mix. It is this is all clean kitty litter. So kitty litter and decorative play sand from the hardware store, which is a slightly larger grain, obviously. But yeah, I like these kind of mid-sized grains of kitty litter. They've got a good shape to them, so you can set them right in place and get some interesting character. Kitty litter breaks into smaller chunks easily. This is just your bog standard clay style kitty litter that you'd get like at the automotive store for cleaning up. It's just bog standard clay kitty litter. It's not really it's not like the more modern kitty litter that you get, like the Fresh Step and all that stuff. It's very very low tech, just clay kitty litter. I get it. I get it at the automotive store actually. But you know, a 50-pound bag will last you a long time. So it's got these nice mid-sized, large bouldery bits, which, you know, depending on the size of the figure that you're working with, could be big boulders or, you know, little stumbling blocks. So yes, for motorized cats, of course. So the whole point of this is to give the ground cover some nice variants. I figure goblins are not going to have the best lawn maintenance, so they're going to have all sorts of little. It's going to be pretty patchy, you know. So rocks and junk, the like. Of course, I'll probably use some good old-fashioned flock on this as well. But I just like to use different size grits. But also not local hero, but fellow Twitch streamers, Impending Duff and Useless Wizard are probably going to be at Origins. I know Impending Duff is. I don't know if Useless. I don't know if Brian's going to be there or not. But Lynn Orzik, Metalhead Minis usually comes to Origins. They run the paint and take. They kind of take care of the hobby university, the hobby track, miniatures, painting stuff. So they take care of the paint and take. And if you've never run a paint and take at your local library or small convention, it's a great way to build the hobby and share it with people that may not even know it exists. So I'm going to go back to some of this medium ballast here and mix it in. Let it naturally do a thing here. Quantum says, I grabbed a small container of fine red clay gravel from a local high school baseball diamond for the same reasons. Yes, yes, absolutely. So Quantum says he goes around digging holes in the local high school baseball diamond there. So every time they round home base, they disappear. But yeah, getting different grits adds interest to the work, I think. So different size grits. Some people like to use baking soda or baking powder. Baking soda? I guess baking soda. It's a very small grit. You can probably do just as well with fine ballast. This is medium ballast. And of course I've got some coarse ballast also, which would be interesting. But the coarse ballast seems a little too regular. Just a little too regular, you know. It's like they're almost all the same. Deadfall trap under second base. True grit. Yes. Learned that if I missed something in the Twitch stream due to an ad, I can jump over to YouTube to see what I missed. Take that, ads. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And YouTube's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's YouTube's got discoverability where Twitch doesn't, but it doesn't have some of the interactivity until you get monetized. And that's probably never going to happen. You need, like, what's it? 400 followers and 1,000 watch hours. But I did make a couple of videos out there. If you haven't seen them yet, Heretic, you can check them out on my YouTube channel. I've got a couple of actual videos, actual honest to goodness videos. Which, I mean, one of them's sort of evergreen. The other one is definitely not. Um, that's kind of the important thing too about content creation. You get longer lifespan out of something that is always going to be topical or relevant. So I've got some ideas for some things coming up, but I've just not had the opportunity to sit down, and I need to write up the outline for what I'm going to say, which I'm going to do one about running paint and takes actually. So that's a plan. And then I've noticed some people can be very negative in the hobby space. Imagine that, right? Certain YouTubers, not certain, well, certain YouTubers, yeah. Nobody that you probably know or follow, but there are some that are very. They look at a successful channel, and instead of saying, well, what are they doing? How are they having success? What can I learn from them? They're jealous, so they make a video about how they're all these other channels are getting all this success and they're corporate, and it's like, no, they're not corporate. They're just as DIY punk rock as anybody else. But they figured out what needed to be done, and they're doing it. You know. So, are you going to learn from it, or are you just going to sit there and stew? You know. I think that's kind of silly to sit there and stew. Somebody has had a channel for 10 years and it's not really taken off. Partly because what he talks about is, you know, our hobby is a niche. A niche? However you would say that. Choose your own pronunciation. And there's some niches that are more niche than others in our hobby. A niche of a niche of a niche, right? So historicals are never going to hit as big as, say, Warhammer, right? So if you're doing historicals and you're not having great success, well, that's just part of the road you gotta navigate, right, to find that success. And what is your level of success? What are you looking for? That's the other thing. Is what is your level of success that you're interested in? You know, so. But he was pretty salty, and I had watched a few of his videos, and they were all right. And then I saw this one, and he kind of went after some people I have some respect for, and you know, he didn't like that. He actually made a 2-minute video, and then he deleted it a little while afterwards, dealing with the comment I made in his comments, and I was spot on. Actually, I had people messaging me, "Hey, that was just, you were right. He's got no reason to be salty with you. You were absolutely correct." Because I brought the receipts, you know, so to speak, as the kids say these days. All right, let's see if that will do it. Splotchy enough, maybe. Alright. Ah, yes, the numbers game. Hey, Black Skull, good to see you. Sorry I didn't see you come in. My face was down into what I was working on here. So, I dug out this old piece of terrain from the Battle for Black. What was it? Skull Pass. Battle for Skull Pass, right? From 7th edition Warhammer Fantasy Battles. So I thought I'd put that together. And yeah, it's turning out pretty good. So I'm just doing the basing now. Let's see. My level of success is when YouTube pays me in buttered toast. Sorry, one more time. Now done. Buttered toast. Nice. So. I care about is believing what I'm doing is worthwhile. Yeah. Exactly, Heretic Scott. Got to be, and it's if it's worthwhile to you to do it, then you've done. If it's worthwhile for yourself, if you're having a good time, if you're enjoying it, if you're getting out of it what you want out of it, then you have success. That is success. But sometimes people are salty when they see other people having more success or being successful with what they're doing. But and part of it is how much effort you're putting into it. If you release a video once every, if you do a video and you do one and it's 6 weeks apart and 2 weeks apart and 3 months from then, and you're just all kinds of what would you call it? I don't want to say helter skelter, but if you're just kind of not regular, that's one of those things. Of course, evidently the algorithm has changed, so it's not really worrying too much about small creators, and evidently it's not looking at regularity anymore. So it does look good for regularity, I guess, but I was watching one of these how to be successful YouTubers, which I think that's how they're successful. They just make up. I think they're just making up a lot of this stuff. Quite honestly, I think they don't really know how any of it works. They just kind of are guessing, just like anybody else. But they know more than I do, so I watch them. And one of them said, "Don't worry if you miss an upload here and there. It's not really going to have that much of an effect on your channel." Don't know. I haven't really put enough videos out there to really know, to really try it, to test it. But that's part of being gainfully employed. That's the problem, is going to work ready to go to work, and then coming home ready to go to bed. Too much the old, getting there, gotten there. Let's see. Yeah. Well, I don't know if YouTube is gonna ever use buttered toast as a means of currency, but I'll let you know if they ever do. Good buttered Texas toast. And I'll tell you, as far as I understand, Black Skull knows a good buttered toast when he sees it, when he smells it. Hotel breakfasts. Although I gotta say, a lot of times their bagels are lacking, but their toast is always good. Quantum says they know how to be successful on YouTube by making how to be successful on YouTube videos for you to watch. Yes, exactly. That's kind of what it boils down to, I think. That's the other thing about JP's Magic Mix, is when you're done with what you're doing, you can always pour the leavings back in there. Now, that's not what you think it is. That's a concretion from super glue, just getting in there. So. But that's just sand. That's a couple of different grits of sand, like a decorative sand. There's a decorative sand in there that has kind of a smaller grit, and there's playground sand. Um, don't be afraid to go to like some of these home decor stores and look for these little bags of sand that they put in. Um, they like put them in vases, and they'll make like little colors with them. I got a couple of bags of it when I just before Joann's went out. I got okay. So here's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. Let me put the lid on this so I don't. So JP doesn't accidentally use profanity tonight. That'd be a first. So I got this. I think I got this at Joann's before they went under. And it is just decorative sand. And it's got a smaller grit than the playground sand, but it's not quite as small a grit as this medium train ballast, model train ballast. This is medium. I've got a bag of fine somewhere, but look at that. And then there's some dust in there too, so the dust is good. You can use that. That can hopefully will get in your mix as well. But that's a very fine sand. It's finer than the playground sand, so you could make a good magic mix out of something like this. And like I said, this is just decorative sand that you get at like Joann's or Michael's or something, craft store sand. They sell it, and how much? This was not very well. This was on. I got this going on there going out of sale, so it wasn't much. But it's £2. That's £2. You know, and if that's £2 for $3, I don't know what it was. I don't know what they sell it for normally, but I think I got it for like 99 cents. But £2 of that'll last you a long time. That's quite a hefty bag, as you can see. So let's see. I'll put that back in the old terrain possibles box here. So we put that back at the end of the session. Let's see. Another place to get fine gravel sand is at the aquarium shop. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. Quantums are sorry. Miar says he's falling asleep. He go to hour early in tomorrow, which means 4:30. Got to go. Smart. Should have been smart. He went to bed an hour ago. Well, that's all right. Hey, thanks for sticking around. Appreciate seeing you again, Miar. It's the O over here on the YouTube side of things. Don't forget to give a like, share, and I know you're subscribed. So, get that out there for me if you don't mind. But make sure you hit that thumbs up. Appreciate you, Miar. Good to see you again. Hopefully things get better. If you want to talk, you're more than welcome anytime. So, yep. But yeah, aquarium sand is great. Coral sand, aquarium sand, whatever they're selling. So, all right, cool. So we're gonna set that aside and let that super glue dry up, because the thin super glue is surprisingly takes a while to dry. So we're gonna set that aside for the time being. And I think because we have some time, we're going to work some more on the Predator tanks. Now, when last we left, I had put together the sponson las cannons, and I forgot to put the gargoyle heads on the sponson las cannons. So I need to take those off, and I'm not going to take the sponson las cannons off because they're already on there. No much good taking them off now. So I'm going to use the X-Acto saw, and hopefully I can brace this up in some fashion so I don't wind up hurting it. And this off. All right, Miar. Good night. Hey, thanks for visiting the YouTube side there, Quandom. Appreciate that. If you don't mind dropping a like over here. So I'm going to go ahead and saw this off right here. And much like sawing PVC pipe at work, once you get it going straight, it will always go straight. A little nerve-wracking. Hold your breath, everybody. Drum roll, please. It's better to go slow. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. All right. I heard that on a movie one time. Lots of concentration to get this, because I don't want to cut off the stalk underneath. Just before they pulled the lever. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that turned out all right. Looks like, at least on upon initial inspection, it seems like we got good clean cuts there. Were they equal in size, equal in length? Were they in the equal spot? Pretty close. Pretty close. I can live with it. Cutting sounds like Wile E. Coyote sawing something before it goes south. Yeah, right? Yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's see. Clean this up a little bit. Looks like it's pretty straight. Pretty good cut there. Pretty good overall cut. Just going to sand it up just to even her up a little bit. Here. Wait, you're sitting on that branch, right? You're sitting on the end of that las cannon. Sitting on the end of the las cannon. I guess they'd call that the hot seat. You know, if 40K was really stealing from Dune, the way they should have it, if you shot a void shield with a las gun, you'd have a really short game. You would have a very short game. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Oh. The old back is getting to me, folks. Getting the old is not the fun. It's not the fun I thought it was going to be. All right. Let's see. All right. Find the pin vise that has the small drill bit on it. Neither of those are it. Don't know where I put it. I used to be with it. Then they changed what it was. Where is the small one? Is it over here still? That's also small, but that's not the small one that I was thinking of. Huh. Acme Precision Saw. The choice of desert predators everywhere. Right? Well, we used a saw on this predator. So I guess we're right in that milieu, right? The genre, the milieu, the je ne sais quoi, le grand fromage. I really don't speak French. I don't know what I'm saying. Probably just proposed to 13 French zoo animals. Somewhere there's a cockatiel blushing. It's like the old joke, the guy went to the restaurant, he was choking and he started gesturing and he didn't realize that he had proposed marriage to a deaf girl. You kind of got to see that one. No face cam, so I can't really... Oh, let's see, let's try this. Let's try this one with this drill bit. I know I've got a smaller drill bit. Don't know where it is though. Frustrating. I don't think you proposed to anyone. I think you may have committed France to providing the world with brie. Possibly. Possibly. That's more than likely. Black Skull. Probably, it is definitely something that I would do accidentally. Definitely something I would accidentally do. If there's one thing I would accidentally do, that would be commit France to supplying the world with brie. Let's see. This is just a little... This is just a little wide, a little bit big to get in that spot. I don't really feel like getting the sandpaper out. Although, since it didn't go the second time, I think I might get the sandpaper out. And spin this down just a little bit. This is, what is this? 150 grit sandpaper. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to wrap it around here and reduce the diameter of this piece of plastic rod. And a side of buttered toast. Waiter, this soup du jour. That's the soup of the day, sir. It sounds great. I'll have it. Nice, Quantum. Deep cut from Quantum. Nice. And a side of buttered toast. Today, in other news, JP Gotrokkits, a miniature painter in the U.S., engaged in poor language skills, which caused an international cheese incident. For a brief moment, diplomats have been engaged. Nice. Black Skull in with the 1-2 punch in the pun department. Folks, we do appreciate a good pun here. You are more than welcome to supply puns at your own risk. Use a pun, go to jail. This is the pun range. Hey, pun rights are human rights. Can I get this done before 11 o'clock strikes? I don't know. That's the answer. Can I get this done before 11 o'clock strikes? Alright, that's in there good. We'll do the same thing. We will reduce the diameter of this plastic rod. What I do is I just put that in there, fold it over, and spin it just enough to get a little bit of a reduction, because it's just slightly oversized for my the current small one that I have, small drill bit that I have. I had a smaller one. I don't know where it got to. I had it the other day, but I am prone to misplace things. Wait, this isn't butter. It's brie. My toast is ruined. But 4 slices of buttered honey wheat toast. JP can't do it. Can't do what? That's all my YouTube earnings that you can't finish before 11 p.m. Oh. Oh, we have a challenge. 4 slices of buttered toast is on the table. We have a challenge. Challenge accepted. I'll make sure to get you, if I fail, I will make sure to get you 4 slices of buttered toast at Adepticon next. "15 minutes to go, maybe." Oh yeah, love it. You lads are all right. I tell you what, good company. Good company here. So 15 minutes yet, huh? So, all right. The gauntlet has been thrown for 4 slices of buttered toast. A king's ransom, sir, a king's ransom. Hurry up, man. There's buttered toast on the line. Two guys who together make a full wit. Next stream we play for high stakes club sandwiches. Oh yeah, there you go. By George, I think he's got it. Pride comes before a fall, right? Pride cometh before a fall. Don't get too excited now. I could completely screw this up, you know? And be just like me. I'm really good at that last moment screw up. Really good at it. I am a logistics nightmare. All right, I got that process done with 10 minutes to spare. So now everybody's got gargoyle heads on their as their las cannon flash hiders here. So of course there's more to do, but that process was a little nerve-wracking because I had forgotten to do that at the time. So there it is. Half a flower. Oh boy. All right. Well, we got 10 minutes to go, and I'm pretty well done for where I wanted to get to tonight. I got some basing work done on the Goblin Effigy from Battle for Skull Pass. Yeah, got that done. I got these sponson flash hiders on the sponson las cannons corrected on the Chaos Predator. So there's lots more work to do there. And yeah, what else did I do? I did some paint touch up on the Goblin Effigy as well. I had to do some paint touch ups there because I had gotten some little black speckles all over it because I dry brushed something too close to it. So anyhow, we are going to say good night to YouTube, and we're going to say good night to Rumble, and we're going to raid out over to our usual Twitch raid out. So I'll be living now. Oh wow, Quantum, you can keep it going, man. I appreciate you. And hang in there, man. Hang in there. I know things are tough, but it sounds like you've got some good support, but also you have the people here that you know online and in real life. You know, we've all met each other. So hang in there. Appreciate you. Send the regards to your wife there. We're all pulling for y'all. So be well. So, like I always say, no matter how bad today was, the sun's coming up tomorrow and the world is a better place with you in it. Keep an eye out for each other. Take care of each other. So, let's go ahead and raid out and we'll see who there is. Oh, you're welcome, Black Skull. I appreciate you being here, as always. Yep. You're welcome, Quantum. So let's raid out and we'll see who there is to go and leave out. Let's see. Is that... a Night Whisper is up. A Trada is up and on. Let's see. I don't know. Come here. Let's see. Oh, let's drop in on Dave the Bearded Menace here. We'll visit Dave the Bearded Menace. I don't think. I think he's working on something for PAX 2020, PAX East. I think. I don't know if he works with Lethal Shadow Gaming or not. Don't really know anything about him. So we're gonna stop in and say hello though. Viking helmets on. Here we go. All right, everybody. That is the end of the stream. Good night.